Wagwan, my people. Good morning, good morning. Let's see what we get today. Let's see what we get today. We do have equal session highs and fair value gap, a 30 and hourly fair value gap to the sell side. From London and pre-New York, we formed a bearish daily range. Although Asia low was run by the pre-New York low, so it's a thing where price doesn't even need to run the pre-New York low anymore. We have our new day opening gap over here, which is very very close. At the moment, I'm thinking price is going to run out this low first before trading to the top side. At the moment, it does look like they want to go that they will run out these lows, but let's see what price does at the open. It's nothing too clear at the moment, honestly, but towards the open, we'll see what price does. I am interested in price trading up though.
Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others struggle no matter how hard they work? What if I told you there exists a precise science for becoming rich, one that works as reliably as mathematics? A method so powerful that anyone who follows it with faith and consistent action will achieve wealth, regardless of age, gender, or current financial status. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from.
This
Today,
level here is the
it's
midpoint,
always fascinating seeing who's
the
joining us
weekly
from
midpoint.
around
I
the
don't know if
world.
price would
The
want to
truth
use
about
that, you know.
wealth creation has been hidden in plain sight for centuries. Most of us have been programmed to
We've
believe
only
that
moved how many
financial
points for the
success
day as well?
depends on luck, inheritance, or
100
connections.
points.
We've been taught that opportunities are scarce, wealth is reserved
Let's see
for
what
a
we get today.
privileged few. But I'm here to challenge everything you think you know about prosperity. Has this ever happened to you? You work tirelessly, follow conventional wisdom about saving and investing, yet financial freedom seems to slip further away with each passing year. If so,
Wow.
you're not alone. And more
Wow.
importantly, it's
Okay.
not your fault. What we're
I
about
think
to
I'm gonna go
explore
for
together
buys if we do
isn't
flip
another
bullish.
get-rich-quick scheme or motivational pep talk. It's a fundamental understanding of how universal laws operate invisibly but consistently in our lives. These laws govern the flow of
Order
abundance
filled.
just as surely as gravity governs the physical world. When mastered, money, opportunities, and success begin to flow naturally, not by chance but by design.
Order
Stay
filled.
with me until the end of this journey, because what separates those who achieve extraordinary wealth from those who don't isn't talent or resources. It's their understanding of these invisible principles and their commitment to applying them with unwavering faith. Think about it. Every invention, every fortune, every empire began as a thought in someone's mind.
We're not risking too much
That
today.
thought, when held
Right
with
now.
clarity and backed by consistent action,
All we need for the day is about
materialized into physical
$500.
reality. This isn't mysticism.
$600
It's a
actually.
practical application of how the universe actually
Let's see if
works.
Price can give that to
What
us
you're
quickly.
about to discover might surprise you, especially if you've been conditioned to believe that
All right, I'm gonna go break even.
complex or reserved for the lucky few. The most powerful truths are often the simplest, hidden behind our complicated thinking and limiting beliefs. The science of wealth isn't about manipulating markets or exploiting others. It's about aligning yourself with the natural flow of abundance that already exists all around us. It's about becoming a conscious creator rather than a passive recipient of circumstances. As we dive deeper into these principles, you'll begin to recognize patterns in your own life, moments when you've unknowingly applied these laws and experienced positive results, as well as times when you've blocked your
Come
own
on, I need Price to
prosperity
push for me.
without realizing it. The question isn't whether these laws work, but whether you're ready to work with them as effectively as they work with everyone else. Let me share with you what's really happening beneath the surface of financial struggle. Join our community of conscious creators by subscribing to this channel. Together, we're mastering the science of prosperity that most people never discover. The most profound transformation begins when we recognize the invisible prison most people live in. A prison without bars.
If it hits my break even, I have to wait for the first 5 minutes to
Cage is
close.
what I call the scarcity mindset. You've heard it, maybe even said it yourself. There isn't enough to go around. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are just lucky. Or wealth is for others, not for me. These aren't innocent observations. They're powerful programming that shapes your reality. Every time you repeat these limiting beliefs, you're reinforcing neural pathways that make scarcity seem like the
Interesting
only
to you
truth.
with.
The fascinating revelation here is that while you're conscious, mind accepts these limitations, a deeper part of you rebels against them. That restlessness you feel, that sense that you were meant for more. It's not wishful thinking. It's your authentic self recognizing that you were born for abundance. The universe itself operates on expansion, not contraction. Look at nature. Everything grows, evolves, and multiplies. A single seed doesn't yield just one fruit, but hundreds. The cosmos isn't designed for scarcity. It's designed for overwhelming abundance. And you, as part of this universe, are naturally aligned with this principle of expansion. Now here's where the journey gets truly fascinating. The acquisition of wealth isn't random or dependent on favorable circumstances as most believe. There exists a specific method, a way of thinking and acting.
The equal highs is
that produces
definitely a
wealth with
target.
the same reliability that planting a seed produces a plant. Those who understand this method and apply it consistently will inevitably become wealthy. This isn't hopeful thinking. It's as dependable as gravity. The hidden truth that few discover is that the universe responds to how you operate, not to what you wish for. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the laws of prosperity, wealth flows to you, not by accident, but by design. This alignment creates a powerful resonance that
I don't like
begins
this
to
clothes
reshape
at
your
all.
external reality. Think of it as learning the language that the universe speaks. When you communicate in this language through your focused thoughts, your genuine emotions, and your decisive actions, you're giving clear instructions that cannot be ignored. The impact of this shift in communication is nothing short of revolutionary. Many people mistakenly believe that their financial situation
My entry is right at the midpoint, man.
or their luck. In reality, it's simply feedback about how well they understand and apply these universal principles. Your current circumstances are not your destiny. They're merely the result of your past. Understanding, as your awareness expands, so will your material reality. The most profound mindset shift happens when you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start recognizing yourself as
Can we
a
just get a
creator
straight
of
push? That would be so nice.
circumstances. This isn't about positive thinking alone. It's about aligning your entire
Price
being
does have a chance
with
of
the way
coming back to
wealth
my entry
naturally
because
flows. When
unknowingly
you
it
do
is
this
the first,
consistently,
it's the
what once
midpoint of the
seemed
first 5 minutes.
impossible becomes inevitable. I've witnessed countless individuals undergo this remarkable journey of transformation. People who started with nothing but a willingness to learn and apply these principles systematically. They didn't have special advantages or lucky breaks. They simply understood that wealth creation follows specific patterns, and they committed to mastering those patterns. The decisions you make today about how you view wealth will shape every aspect of your financial future. Will you continue accepting the programmed limitations of scarcity thinking, or will you embrace the expansive truth that abundance is
It's
your
got a little
natural
bit more to
state?
drop.
Write, "I choose abundance" in the comments if you're ready to break free from the mental cage that's been limiting your prosperity. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing what actually happens when you begin to align yourself with these universal laws of wealth. When you begin to truly grasp these universal laws of wealth, something profound happens. The knowledge
This
itself
midpoint of the
creates a
weekly could
fundamental
really give us
shift in
a
your
push.
consciousness that many have described as both rare and, in a way, dangerous. Dangerous not because it can harm you, but because once this revelation takes hold, you can never go back to accepting mediocrity in your life. This transformation is irreversible, like seeing a hidden pattern that was always there, but invisible to your untrained eye. The awakening process doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds gradually as you begin to recognize how the invisible architecture of wealth creation has been operating around you all along. Suddenly, you notice opportunities where before you saw obstacles. You recognize patterns of abundance where you once perceived only limitation. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a fundamental recalibration of your perception. What makes this knowledge so powerful is that it doesn't require any external validation. The moment you begin applying these principles, you experience their truth directly. Your relationship with money transforms from one of anxiety and struggle to one of partnership and flow. This inner revelation is what separates those who talk
If we
about
can run
wealth
out this
from those who
30-minute high, the
actually
9
create
o'clock high,
it.
we're going to get a
Behind the
nice push.
scenes of every fortune ever built stands this exact same understanding. The wealthy aren't operating with different tools. They're operating with different awareness. They've accessed this transformative knowledge and allowed it to reshape not just their actions, but their entire identity. The power to change everything truly does lie within your consciousness. Now, here's where many spiritual and philosophical traditions have created confusion. We've been conditioned to believe that desiring wealth is somehow greedy or materialistic, that spiritual people shouldn't concern themselves with money. This artificial division between material success and spiritual fulfillment has kept countless people trapped in unnecessary limitation. If you want to continue exploring these powerful principles of wealth creation, hit the subscribe button now. The enlightening truth is that no one can live a full life or completely develop their soul and body without being
We haven't
rich.
tapped the midpoint
This
yet,
isn't
by the
about
way.
excess or indulgence. It's about having the resources necessary to express your full potential. Money provides food, clothing, shelter, education, recreation, and perhaps most
Order
importantly,
filled.
freedom. These
I'll
are
be looking to buy
They're
again,
the
depending on how
essential
we close now.
foundation for human development.
We close below.
Think about how many brilliant minds throughout history never
That's bad.
realized their potential simply because they lacked the resources to study, travel, or pursue their ideas. Consider how many artists never created their masterpieces because they were consumed with basic survival.
We need to be patient now.
Tragedy isn't in wanting wealth, it's in believing you shouldn't want it. When you examine nature itself, you see that life always pushes toward more expression, more growth, more
Let's give them a
expansion.
couple seconds.
A seed doesn't aim to become a small stunted plant. It strives to become the fullest tree it can possibly be. Your desire for prosperity isn't separate from this universal impulse toward greater expression.
Hello,
It's a
Impact Wisdom.
natural
What's good? What's
extension of
good?
life's fundamental journey toward fulfillment.
That was break even
The
for now. Let's
mindset
see
revolution
if we can
happens
get another
when
close
you
above the
recognize that
midpoint.
your right to abundance isn't something you need to apologize for or justify. It's your birthright, as natural as your right
Price
to
can
breathe
choose to.
fresh air or drink clean water.
Let me minimize
The
this.
universe
Price can choose to
itself
run out this
operates on
low
principles of
again.
expansion and abundance. Look at the stars in the sky, the leaves on the trees, the cells in your body. Everywhere you look, you see nature's tendency toward multiplication.
I'm still aiming for these
and
equal
growth.
highs.
What's
So
truly remarkable about this journey is how it affects not just your financial reality, but your entire being. As your consciousness expands to embrace abundance, you'll notice shifts in your relationships, your creativity, your sense of purpose, and your impact on others. The ripple effects of this transformation extend far beyond
try to catch
your
a setup,
bank
man.
account. Many people remain trapped in poverty
We need to wait a
consciousness,
couple
not
candles.
because they lack ability or opportunity, but
Come
because
on,
they've
stop below the
never
low.
given themselves permission to claim their natural state of abundance.
There is 9 o'clock
They've
news
accepted
today as
a
well, I think.
narrative about money that simply doesn't align with
So-
the deeper truths of how our universe functions. When you release these limiting stories, you open the door to possibilities that were always there, waiting for you to recognize them. If you're beginning to feel a resonance with these ideas, if something inside you is saying, "This is truth," comment with the phrase, "I claim my birthright to abundance." And let's continue exploring how these principles actually manifest in your daily reality. The foundation we've established about your inherent right to prosperity now leads us to understanding the creative mechanism that actually brings wealth into physical form. This creative mechanism I'm about to reveal works through a profound understanding of wealth's true purpose. Many people pursue money simply to have more things, but the deeper truth is that wealth serves as a vehicle for your complete human development. Without sufficient resources, the mind cannot fully expand, the body cannot be properly cared for, and the soul cannot grow to its intended capacity. Imagine a brilliant musician.
Alright, so we run out this low now. That's not a bad thing.
Or a visionary inventor who lacks
That's
the
not a bad thing. That's
materials
actually a good thing, because if we
to
get a flip now,
consider the researcher who must
that'll be it.
abandon their groundbreaking work
The
to
4-hour candle
take
at the
a
moment has a
survival
top wick
or the healer who cannot afford the education
of 60
that would
points.
multiply
Sorry.
their impact. These aren't just economic limitations, they're spiritual amputations of human potential. The hidden truth that transforms your relationship with money is recognizing that wealth isn't some luxury or indulgence. It's the natural means through which you reach your maximum potential and fulfill your unique purpose. When you embrace this perspective, the pursuit of prosperity becomes not just permissible but essential to your life's journey.
It would be better if price wicks out this low
because it aligns your
and not
financial
closes
goals
below.
with your deepest values. You're no longer
We've traded into
chasing money for
50% of the
ego
week
or
now.
status. You're creating resources that
So-
fuel your authentic expression and contribution. This alignment
We want our next trade to look
generates a
something like
powerful
this.
resonance that accelerates manifestation because you're no longer conflicted about whether you should want wealth. Behind every great human achievement stands the foundation.
This is kind of what I'll be looking for now.
Sufficient resources.
But I'll need a
Magnificent
close.
cathedrals, the life-saving medical breakthroughs, the technological innovations that connect humanity. None would exist without the financial fuel to bring them from conception into reality. Your own dreams deserve this same
Okay,
material support.
that is a very good
Now
close.
we must confront an uncomfortable truth. Poverty fundamentally limits human potential. This isn't about judgment. It's about clear-eyed recognition of how scarcity constrains possibilities. Yes, people can find moments of joy and meaning even in limited circumstances. The human spirit is remarkable.
We want to trade to the previous daily low.
But these moments of happiness don't negate the broader limitations that scarcity imposes. When your energy is consumed by survival concerns, how to pay next month's rent, whether you can afford necessary medical care, how to stretch insufficient food, your cognitive bandwidth for creativity, innovation, and personal development becomes severely restricted. This
I
isn't
don't know if
theory.
Price wants to go to the
It's been
previous daily life,
documented
but
in multiple psychological studies on the effects of scarcity on decision-making and cognition.
if it keeps
The
dying,
wisdom
I might just have a
traditions
break-even
teach us
day.
that each
But
soul comes to
at the
this
moment,
world with
my idea
unique
still stays the
gifts
same
to
though.
develop and share. But
It's just
these
my risk
gifts
is having
require
to reduce now
nurturing, training,
because of the
time, and
range of the stop
resources to
loss.
fully bloom. A painter needs canvas and pigments. A writer needs time and space. A teacher needs education. A healer needs training. All of these pathways to expression require material support.
If you don't get none,
What's
Impact
particularly
Wisdom, make sure you
insidious about
subscribe, yeah? Make sure you
financial
subscribe.
limitation is how
I'm here every day.
it diminishes your vision
I'm trying to
of what's
pass this
possible.
challenge.
When you've lived with not enough for years or
I've got about
decades,
$700
you
to
begin
go.
internalize those boundaries.
I was $400 up here.
Contract. Your sense of what you
It's a little bit
deserve
left, but
shrinks. You stop imagining
alright.
expansive possibilities because the pain of unfulfilled desire becomes too great. This mental constriction represents the most devastating impact of material scarcity. It eventually
it doesn't really matter what they do
spiritual and
underneath this low,
psychological scarcity as well. You cannot
but they do need to stay below that low if they are bearish.
environment constantly reinforces limitation. The transformation begins when you recognize this pattern and make the conscious decision to break it. Understanding this relationship between resources
They've
and
filled up the
human
gap now.
potential doesn't make you materialistic. It makes you realistic about the conditions required for full human flowering. Just as a plant needs soil, water, and sunlight to grow, your development requires certain material conditions to support it. Acknowledging this truth is the first step toward creating those conditions intentionally. The journey toward prosperity isn't just about accumulating money. It's about removing the artificial ceiling that's been placed on your potential. It's about creating the space, freedom, and resources for your authentic self to fully emerge and express. If you're feeling a resonance with this deeper understanding of wealth's purpose, type "I'm removing the ceiling" in the comments. When you truly understand that wealth is meant to serve your complete development,
Are we
you
flipping?
naturally begin to wonder about the creative process that
I mean, we
allows
still
you
need to close
generate.
above the.
This brings us to the fascinating concept of the original substance from which all physical reality emerges. At the core of wealth creation lies what may be the most misunderstood aspect of abundance, the claiming process. Many people approach wealth with an attitude of begging or hoping, repeating affirmations while they're deeper. Feelings contradict every word. They say, "I am wealthy," while feeling utterly unworthy of prosperity.
We still have to close above before I make a
While
move.
harboring guilt about wanting more than they currently have.
Even though I like how we've already run out the low without closing below.
Creates a divided signal
But
that the universe cannot clearly respond to. The breakthrough moment in your prosperity journey happens when you make a profound inner shift from hoping
price
for
can just be
abundance
retesting
to
this midpoint now
claiming it as your divine birthright.
to continue lower.
This isn't
It's the
arrogance
second
or
retest of the
entitlement.
midpoint.
It's an awakening to the truth of your relationship with the universal flow of prosperity. Just as you don't need to beg for air to breathe, you don't need to plead for the abundance that is your natural state. This revelation transforms your entire approach to
I do like the idea of starting to buy now.
seeing yourself as an outsider, desperately trying to get in.
Consolidation. I want movement when I get
Yourself as
in.
an insider
And this is
simply
only a
activating
5-point
what
stop
was
loss or so.
always meant for you. The energy
Yeah.
signature of this recognition
So-
resonates at a completely different frequency, one that opens channels of prosperity
If price is
that
to
remain
go,
closed to those still operating from unworthiness. Behind every great fortune stands this fundamental understanding. Those who manifest extraordinary abundance
I will buy if we
don't
start
spend
trading
their
into
energy
this though.
wondering if they deserve it. They've settled that question at the
Price
deepest
needs to
level
crash
of their
now.
being.
If it starts trading
They
back up
approach
into the
life
clear
from a
on midpoint,
mindset
I'm gonna buy.
Of course, this is for me, rather than maybe if I'm lucky. This seemingly subtle distinction creates dramatically different outcomes. The universal intelligence responds not to your words or even your conscious thoughts, but to the underlying energy pattern of your entire being.
If we can get it
When
by to
every
even the
cell in
previous
your
daily
body
high
resonates
again,
with the truth that abundance is your natural state,
70
doors begin
points.
to open that previously seemed locked. Opportunities arise that were invisible before. Resources flow towards you rather than away from you. This explains why two people can apply the exact same prosperity techniques with radically different results. One person performs the practices as a desperate attempt to fix what they perceive as broken,
I think I
while
need
the
like
other engages the
670.
same practices
So
as a
690,
natural
so
extension of what they
$700.
already know to be true. The second person inevitably manifests more rapidly and sustainably. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing
This
the
is why I wouldn't
universal
just buy it.
pattern behind your creation.
I like this
Have you ever
retest though.
noticed how everything in nature moves toward expansion? A seed doesn't.
If we
Sit
start going up
contentedly
now, I'm
on the
gonna buy.
ground thinking, well, I'm just a seed, and that's enough. Every seed contains the blueprint and the driving force to become a full-grown tree bearing fruit and creating more seeds. This pattern reveals a profound truth.
As soon as we
The
touch
universe
it,
itself operates on a principle of
I'm going
continuous
in.
expansion. Nothing in nature remains static. It either grows
Order
or
filled.
dies. The same natural law applies to your prosperity journey. The desire you feel for greater abundance, impact, and expression isn't random or materialistic. It's life itself, fulfilling its fundamental purpose through you. When you understand this hidden truth, you realize that your ambition for growth isn't something to apologize for or diminish. It's the voice of life speaking through you, urging you toward your fullest expression. Just as a river naturally seeks to flow to the ocean, your being naturally seeks to
as price
expand
starts to
into
trade
its
higher, I'm
complete
gonna
potential.
add to my
The
position.
transformation in your prosperity consciousness happens when you align your
If it does
decisions
reject this
with
level, I'm
natural
gonna
law of
just
expansion. Instead
that'll
of
be my
fighting
only trade for
against your
today.
desires for growth, you recognize them as the compass pointing toward your authentic path. This alignment eliminates the internal resistance that has been blocking your wealth manifestation. Many spiritual traditions have inadvertently created guilt around material desires, suggesting that wanting more somehow makes you less evolved. But this perspective misunderstands the fundamental nature of life itself. The impulse toward greater expression, whether through creativity, impact, relationships, or material prosperity, is woven into the very fabric of existence. Your journey toward abundance is not separate from your spiritual path. It's an integral part of it. When you embrace the natural law of expansion, you allow life to flow through you without restriction, creating prosperity not just for yourself, but for everyone your expanded presence touches.
Are they gonna
If
use this IFVG or are they gonna just crash?
Knowing type,
Because I was
expansion
expecting a
is my
better
nature
push
in the
out of
compass.
this,
The
to be honest.
recognition of your birthright to abundance,
But I just want to give
and
them.
the natural law of expansion prepares you to understand an even more fundamental principle, the original substance from which all physical reality, including wealth, emerges. Now we arrive at perhaps the most liberating insight on this journey, one that shatters the fundamental misconception keeping most people trapped in scarcity consciousness. There is enough wealth in the world for everyone. This isn't wishful thinking or naive optimism. It's a demonstrable reality that transforms your entire relationship with abundance. Consider this revelation.
That might be it. They might run us out,
Principles
honestly.
of expansion and multiplication, not division.
That's a
and
rejection and a
subtraction.
half.
When someone creates wealth,
Yeah.
they aren't taking from a fixed pie that leaves less for others. They're actually
Order
expanding
filled.
the total amount of prosperity available to all. This understanding dismantles the zero-sum thinking that creates unnecessary competition and limitation. Look at human history. We've consistently created more abundance over time, not less. New ideas, technologies, and innovations continuously generate wealth that didn't exist before. A single seed planted becomes a tree bearing thousands of seeds. A single idea implemented creates value that touches countless lives. This multiplication happens everywhere when you know how to recognize it. The paradigm shift occurs when you stop seeing wealth as a scarce resource to fight over and start seeing it as an ever-expanding energy that naturally flows toward those who understand its nature. The universe isn't designed with shortages, it's designed with overwhelming abundance. Your task isn't to grab what you can before it runs out. It's simply to align yourself with this infinite flow. Most people remain trapped in lack because they've been conditioned to focus on the absence rather than the presence of what they desire. They see empty bank accounts instead of abundant opportunities. They notice what others have that they don't, instead of recognizing the unique pathways to prosperity available to them right now. This inverted focus creates a blindness to the abundance that surrounds them daily. The
Ain't that some shit?
begins when you make a conscious decision to attune yourself.
Alright,
to
I'm gonna try
abundance
again.
rather than scarcity.
If they come back into
Like
this level.
adjusting the frequency on a radio, you begin to pick up signals that were always broadcasting, but were previously outside your range.
They really just do that. That is so
Opportunities,
wild, man.
connections, and
I guess that was my
resources
fault.
that were invisible suddenly become apparent. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing the metaphysical foundation of all prosperity.
So?
Behind the physical world of form exists what ancient wisdom traditions and modern quantum physics both recognize: an original substance, a formless intelligence from which all material reality emerges. This isn't abstract philosophy. It's the operating system of creation itself. This original substance is intelligent, responsive, and omnipresent. It flows into any form that human thought consistently impresses upon it. When you understand this principle, you realize that your mind isn't merely perceiving reality, it's actively participating in creating it. Your thoughts are not passive observers, but powerful architects of your experience. The transformative insight is that this substance responds to thought with mathematical precision. Whatever you imagine, clearly, feel deeply, and hold with unwavering faith will eventually materialize in your physical reality. This isn't magical thinking. It's the fundamental creative mechanism of the universe that has been operating all along.
We've got 10 o'clock coming up.
Aware of it or not. This original substance doesn't judge.
I shouldn't have gone myself, stopped out of that trade, man. That was very bad of
It
me.
responds to what you consistently impress upon it. When you focus on lack, it faithfully creates more experiences of lack. When you focus on abundance with clarity
Order
and
filled.
intensity, it begins reshaping your reality to reflect that focus. The journey of awakening involves recognizing yourself as a conscious participant in this creative process, rather than a passive victim of
562.
circumstances. You begin to monitor
They want
your
about
thought
100 points.
with greater awareness, understanding that each mental image is a blueprint being submitted to this responsive intelligence. What's particularly liberating about this understanding is that it places the tools of creation directly in your hands. You don't need special connections, privileges, or advantages to access this creative power. The original substance responds equally to everyone who understands and
If we can
applies
get
its
London highs.
principles consistently. This revelation doesn't mean
That'd be
instant
perfect.
manifestation. The physical world
If
operates
not,
with certain timing
we
and
go again on
processes.
Thursday. But this is the last trade for the day.
Inevitable manifestation when you maintain clear focus and aligned action. If this profound understanding is beginning to resonate with something you've always intuitively known, write "I am a conscious creator" in the comments. The recognition that you're working with an
The 30 minutes is even like,
substance
there's barely a
changes
30-minute
everything
midpoint.
about how you approach wealth creation. But there's an essential element that determines how effectively this substance responds to your thoughts. This fundamental
Let's see what
understanding
price
about
gives
the
us.
original substance leads us to an even more liberating insight. There is no real scarcity in the universe. Look around you. Everything you see, from
Break even.
majestic mountains to sprawling cities, from vast oceans to technological
Can we get what we're
marvels,
looking for?
from humble homes to global businesses, all of it emerged from the same invisible, infinite, and perfectly malleable source. This revelation transforms your entire perception of possibility.
Just push. Don't even come back anywhere.
From this formless
Can we get London
that
highs,
responds
please?
to thought, then there can be no fixed limit to wealth creation. The only true limitation is our understanding of how to work with this responsive intelligence.
Order
Those
filled.
who have mastered this understanding can manifest prosperity regardless
This
of
is just some
economic
bullshit,
conditions,
man. What's going on?
background, or external circumstances. Think about the journey of human innovation throughout history. At every
Order
stage,
filled.
people declared certain achievements impossible until someone who didn't accept those limitations envisioned something new. Flight was impossible until the Wright brothers saw it clearly in their minds. Instant, global communication was a fantasy until inventors held that image with such conviction.
If we close above this midpoint, I'm gonna go in again.
Behind every breakthrough stands this same process. Clear vision impressed upon the original substance. The paradigm shift happens when you realize that scarcity is fundamentally an illusion, a powerful and persistent one, but
Our
an
stuff needs to be
illusion
below
nonetheless.
this.
The appearance of limited resources comes not from actual
first 5
limitations
minutes.
in the universe, but from limited understanding of how to access and direct the original substance that is infinitely abundant. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing your
We
true
traded to the
identity
midpoints
in
of the
this creative
of the
process.
30.
You are not merely a physical being navigating a pre-existing world. You are a center of conscious thought, capable of impressing images upon this formless substance. Your mind is literally a creative force in the universe, not metaphorically, but actually. This understanding
Order
places you in a
filled.
position of remarkable power and responsibility. The world you experience isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. Your thoughts aren't passive observers of reality, they're active participants in creating it. Each person functions as a broadcasting station, continuously sending signals that the original substance receives and manifests. The illuminating discovery here is that your role in wealth creation isn't to manipulate external conditions directly. Your primary task is to create and
I think
maintain
regardless, whatever this does, this is gonna be it. Because today is just weird.
images of what you desire,
I'm not liking this.
infuse those
I'm starting
images
to
with
feel like I'm
genuine
doing something
emotion
rough.
and hold them with
Well, there they go running me out.
Order filled.
these
Yeah.
images